Hey guys, this is Ben, Honeydew Homestead. I just wanted to say something real quick before we get started today. I've been getting a handful of new subscribers, and I know that it's not a lot. I don't have like a million subscribers or anything, but every single subscriber really does make a difference, and it does motivate me to keep making content. So I just wanted to say thank you. And if you are new to the channel and you don't know really what I do here, definitely check out some of my older videos. But long story short, I do a lot of build projects, a lot of outdoor stuff, some lawn care, a lot of gardening, which we will be getting into very soon as the months warm up. But anything that really needs to get done outside, I pretty much try to tackle it, trying to turn this house into a home and maybe even a homestead someday, who knows. But that's really what this channel is about. If that sounds good to you, definitely tell your friends, spread the word. I'd really appreciate it. Alright, so what are we doing today? Actually, I'm pretty excited about today. I might be starting this a little too soon, but can't help myself. Okay, we're gonna plant some sweet potatoes today. Not plant sweet potato slips, we have to make the slips. The problem is, to make sweet potato slips, you really need 60 to 90 days to make sweet potato slips. Unfortunately, we've been getting very cold weather lately. As you know, we've been getting snow, freezing rain, all kinds of stuff. So my hope is that I can put a couple of sweet potatoes in the ground, or at least in some soil. I'll keep it in the garage, and that will be warm enough to sustain it, so that every now and then when we get some warm days, it might be enough to sort of spark those sweet potatoes to start producing some slips for me. Typically, I would recommend, if you're doing this for the first time, to try to find some organic sweet potatoes or anything like that, because a lot of times sweet potatoes from the grocery stores, they've been sprayed with inhibitors to stop them from sprouting, and they do that so that they have longer shelf life, but we actually want the opposite. We want them to sprout. Fortunately, I kept some sweet potatoes from my somewhat failed but promising sweet potato project from last season. Definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. It was a little bit of a bust. I was very bummed. I did get some edible potatoes out of it. The ones that were questionable, I still cooked those up. I cut out the bad bits and gave some to my assistant. And then the ones that were really bad, here, let me show you what I mean. All right. The ones that were really bad, that had stuff like this in them, where you could tell some bugs were really getting into those guys. Here's another one. This one's crazy. So most of those, what I decided to do was just hold on to them. As you can tell, they actually look pretty good. They've been wintering, if not for those really bad chew outs, those little holes that they look like some kind of worm or something got into them. I go into more detail about that video I just mentioned before, but I went ahead and I kept them because they're still good as seed potatoes, which is cool. I don't have to go to the grocery store and buy them. I have seed potatoes for this year, so that's a plus. What I do need to do is get these guys into some soil so that I can hopefully start getting those slips. And I know that it's going to work. I'm confident that it's going to work because look at this. Let me see if I can get it on there. You see that? I don't really need this much soil. I might actually do half this much and get another pot so that I can plant more of them. Alright, pot's actually even deeper, but it doesn't need to be filled all the way to the top. I only need to fill it just enough to give those sweet potatoes some soil to root into. So this is actually composted wood chips, which should work just fine. There is some nitrogen in here, but we really don't need a whole lot. A lot of the energy for these potatoes is stored in the potato itself. We just need to keep this medium nice and moist so they can develop some roots and start pushing out some slips for us. We don't have to bury it too deep, just enough to encourage these little slips to start producing. Actually, I am going to put this one a little bit vertical. I think he'll be okay. Same for this guy. Now this guy's a little harder to tell. We don't know which side is going to start producing those slips, so we're going to have to lay this one a little bit flat. Right there. And we'll put a nice little small guy right here. It's okay that we're crowding them, because we're not trying to produce potatoes out of these guys. We just want the slips. And then we're going to get some water in these real soon. Can't even see what's going on in there. I don't think this guy's going to do anything for us, but you know what? Why not? Go for it. So we cover them up just enough for them to kind of disappear, but they're kind of poking through a little bit. Just like that. And that should be plenty. So let's get some water on these and then we'll be good to go. Speaking of water, looks like rain's coming. So that is it for today. I know it seems simple. We just took some sweet potatoes and put them in some growing medium. But in reality, this is just the beginning of what's going to be a much longer growing season. I hope to grow a little more food than I did last year. I hope to be a little more successful than I did last year. And a successful growing season in the spring and through the summer really starts in the winter. So that's just something to keep in mind, is that if you have your own gardens and you are getting ready for the spring, there are some things that take a long time to get ready. Now you can buy sweet potato slips online, I believe you can get them, but they're not that hard to make, and in reality it costs nothing to make them yourself. It's very, very cheap. So now that I'm starting to get rained on, I think I'm gonna leave it here. We'll talk some more about this maybe in the upcoming videos, but in the meantime, as always, you guys be good to each other, and I'll see you on the next one.